On a sunny afternoon in the village of Ogbo, Duku the monkey baked some very tasty yams. They were golden and steamy, freshly picked from his garden, and to him, absolutely perfect. Duku grinned with pride. My best batch yet, he said to himself, carrying the tray back to his hut. Inside, he set the yams on a wooden table and sat down, eyes wide, belly rumbling. He reached for the first bite. Knock, knock, knock. Duku froze. He groaned. No, not now, he muttered. At the door stood Turtle. He looked tired and dusty, with dirt on his shell and paws from a long journey. Hello, Duku. I've been traveling all day and I smelled the most delicious yams I've ever known. Would you share them with me? Duku, though not feeling generous, forced a wide smile. Of course, Turtle. Come in, sit down, and help yourself. Turtle entered and settled at the table, but just as he reached for a yam, Duku snapped. Turtle, you can't eat with dirty hands. Turtle looked down. His hands were muddy from crawling along the forest path. Oh, I should have known better, he said, embarrassed. And off he went to the river to wash. When he returned, Duku had already started eating. I didn't want the yams to get cold, but please, help yourself. Turtle reached again. Still dirty? Duku barked. You must not be paying attention. Turtle looked. His hands had gotten dirty again just from crawling home, so he went back to the river, washed again, and this time walked carefully across the grass, trying to keep his hands clean. But by the time he returned, the plate was empty. Not a crumb, not a slice, nothing. Turtle looked at Duku for a moment, then smiled. Thank you for sharing your meal, he said calmly. If you're ever near my home, I'd be happy to return the favor. And with that, he turned and slowly walked away. That night, Duku lay in bed, tossing and turning. He couldn't stop thinking about Turtle's offer. He imagined steaming bowls of stew, soft plantains, golden jollof rice. His stomach growled louder than ever. I bet his feast is even better than mine, Duku whispered. And by morning, he couldn't take it anymore. He set off through the forest, following the scent of water and sun-warmed grass until he reached the riverbank. There was Turtle, basking in the golden light. Hello, Duku, said Turtle with a smile. Come to share dinner with me? Oh, yes, yes, said Duku eagerly. Turtle slipped beneath the water, down to his cozy home below the surface. The turtle swims downward into the glowing underwater home. Then he returned to the surface. Your place is ready. Please join me. Duku leapt in, splash, but he popped right back up to the surface. He tried again, and again. He belly flopped, he dove, he kicked his legs wildly. Nothing worked. Underwater, Turtle had already begun to eat, slowly and calmly. Then Duku had an idea. He gathered stones and stuffed them into the pockets of his jacket. 1, 2, 3, and plop, he sank, down to the bottom, down to the feast. It was more wonderful than he'd imagined. It's beautiful, he whispered, eyes wide. He reached for the first yam, but Turtle raised a hand. In my town, we don't wear jackets to the table. Duku blinked. So, carefully, Duku began to slip off his jacket, and the moment it left his shoulders, whoosh, he shot back up to the surface like a cork from a bottle. Duku landed on the riverbank, dripping and dazed. He crawled over and peeked into the water. There was Turtle, still seated, still smiling, slowly enjoying his underwater banquet. Duku sat quietly, watching the ripples fade. For the first time, he understood how Turtle must have felt that day at his door. "Now I know how he felt," Dooku whispered. "Maybe being clever isn't better than being kind." And the smell of that meal stayed in his nose like a lesson he wouldn't forget. Moral of the story: when you try to outsmart someone, you may find that you are the one being outsmarted.